Happy Monday. If you're just waking up, thanks for waking up. It is December 4th. It is December in Canada. It's Christmas time over here. We're just getting into the holidays here. The weather has followed appropriately. It's getting super cold over here. Let's do some morning shout-outs. Hello, everybody. Let's say hi to everybody first who's in the chat. JB, I saw you're in the house. What's up, JB? Yan Long Hong, yes, hello. All right, we got some more internationalness going on. Nalita is here. Hello, Nalita. Yahia. Hello. Ayub. Hello. Awesome. Welcome to the chat. I see a few new faces I haven't seen before, so welcome you guys. Glad to have you here on a Monday, and thank you for being involved and being awake on a Monday. It's sometimes hard. I've drank 2 coffees today just to wake up for you. I'm here. I think I'm ready for the day. Feeling good, feeling strong. Hello, Mohammed. How you doing? Jennifer, hello. How you doing, everybody? My volume's too low, eh? All right, so hold on. Let's adjust this. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we can do. And let's see. And let's pump that up a little bit. How about now? Can you guys hear me now? How's the volume? Better? A little bit better. I can pump that up. All right. So anyways, let me know if it's too quiet. Let me know. I'll pump it up a little bit. Hello, Samir. Hello, Benjamin. Awesome. Benjamin says, I have to go to sleep exam tomorrow. Sorry, Benjamin. Good luck on your exam, buddy. Hope you kick some butt on it. Yolana, hello. So much better now. I can hear you. Awesome, JB. All right. Thank JB's my man. JB tells me if things are going well or things are going bad, right, JB? I know you're with me. If I'm doing terrible, just pump me up. Just say, oh, you're doing great, Kent. Just a little more energy or something like that. I'll do my best. Hello. Ekafon? Oh, I don't know. Sorry, I'm going to terribly say your names, but I'm doing my best here. I'm trying. From Laos. Yeah, awesome. Welcome, guys. Garima, hello. How you doing? Awesome. So, some new people in the chat. Welcome, everybody. If you haven't been with us before, this is Smrt, where we keep you smart. We work on your grammar, we work on your vocab, and we try to improve your English one class at a time, one wonderful, magical hour at a time. Today's lesson is, as you can see, let me just pull it up here. The magic that we're going to go to today, let me take you here, because this is what we're going to be working from. So let me take you to the Smrt page, and this is all the stuff we're going to be working on today. Where am I? There I am. Boo. We're going to be working on this today, so please, if you are loaded into the Smrt, you can go to the English 120 section, so that if you don't know how to do it, we go library, we scroll down, we're going to go to English 120 here. And we're going to go all the way down to number 6. And this is the stuff we're going to be working on today. We're going to be working on verb patterns, and we're going to scroll. Specifically, we're going to be looking at gerunds, so ing verbs, and we're going to be using them with prepositions today. So we're going to give you a big introduction to a little bit of how English works, because this is a complicated part for some people. So if you scroll down to this stuff over here, that's what we're going to be working on, objects of prepositions using for, about, and all these kinds of things. All right, so without further ado, let's get rolling. I'll put this in there one more time. If you didn't get a copy, as usual, you know how we do it. Make a copy of that. It's in the chat, and we're going to talk about it. So because it's the holidays over here, I thought let's talk a little bit about holidays and what's going on in your end of the world and what's going on over here. So I've decided we're going to start with a question of the day. And get my head out of the way. The question of the day is, what are some things which you insist on doing during the holidays? And if you don't know, insist on, it means something that you're really, really interested in doing. Like you have to do this. Like your parents insist on you studying, or your parents insist on you, I don't know, getting a good job. Like they really push you to do something. So now you're going to talk about yourself in this situation, because I wanted to use that word because it's something we're going to be working on today. So what do you insist on doing during the holidays? So I'll give you my own answer. I insist on having some time to chill out. And if you don't know chill out means to relax. It's kind of the cool way, I guess, to say relax. To chill out and spend some time with friends, family, my head's in the way, and do some outdoor activities. All right. And my thing is, I got into it last year. Snowboarding was my thing that I started doing last year. And now I really love it. And I actually wanted to go this weekend, but sad face, I had nobody to go with. So I stayed at home and did nothing. It was really lame. So I hope you guys are doing something more awesome. But anyways, Let's see. Food AF is in the house. Hello, Food AF. Hello, Kareem. How you doing, brother? I insist on doing absolutely nothing during the holidays. That's a solid plan, Kareem. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing nothing, chilling back, maybe a little drink in hand, a little TV. I don't know, whatever you guys like to do during the holidays. So let's hear from you guys. What kind of things do you guys like to get up to on the holidays? I want to get some international answers. We got a lot of cultures in this chat. So can you guys please answer this question for us? We would be curious to know what happens in your country when you guys have holidays. So, and you can use this, I'll give you this because this is what we're going to be working on today. So start this sentence and finish it. Nalita can't open it, eh? All right, let's hold on a sec here. Let's make sure we're rolling here. No. Should be good. No, should be good, Nalita. I'm not sure why. You should be able to open this document. I'll post it one more time. Not too sure why it wouldn't be working for you, but there it is. If you can't open it up, just follow with us. I'll try to make the screen real big and just take out some of the new vocabulary from today. It might not work for everybody all the time, but hopefully you can still see the lesson, what we're working on today. Okay, so like I said, you guys can basically start. I'd like you guys to finish this sentence about holidays and talking about yourself. So you can start just like this. I insist on, and you can use a verb plus an ing. Okay, so this is kind of well, actually, you don't have to do that. So let me just leave it open like that because we're going to get into the rules in a little bit. So let's start with that. What do you guys insist on? Lolly, hello, Lolly. Lolly number 70. I insist to cooking during the holidays. Okay, very nice, Lolly. You got it good. But the one thing you have to do is you got to use that word on. So make sure that when you use it, you cannot change too many words when you learn something in English. So keep that one word, I insist on, and then you can use a verb or you can use a noun in both those situations. Jennifer says, my family insists on doing barbecue during the holidays. That's an awesome idea. I think you could do barbecues anytime, but that's a great idea. Jennifer, I'm going to guess you might be from Brazil. That's just a guess. I'm not sure, but I know Brazilian barbecues are awesome. Been there twice. Going to go back. One little thing, Jennifer, just remember when you say family in Canada, we would say family. Family is kind of like it's like one family. So we'd say my family insists on doing barbecues. And again, many barbecues. So let's use the S. Barbecues during the holidays. Sakar's got it. You got the document there. Awesome. Sakar says, I insist on keep in touch about new technology. Okay, cool. That works, Sakar. Just one thing. Remember, if you look at my sentence here, I kind of highlighted a few things here. And the reason I highlighted that is because you have to use an ing verb. So when you have this on, sometimes, and this is really what we're going to look at today, is sometimes you have to use a verb with an ing form after this. So when you say, I insist on working, I insist on going, I insist on studying, I insist on whatever, you got to use an ing verb after. So that's kind of the thing we're going to focus on today. So just remember that for the rest of today. Use an ing verb when you're using it. Okay. And insist on keeping in touch with new technology, Sakar. Just a little bit of a change there. Let's see. You need to say hi to me. I insist on it. I'm sorry. Hello. Welcome to the chat. Unfortunately, when your name comes up, I can't really see what it is. I don't really know the name. So if you can write it in English, I'll give you a proper hi. But I can't read it, unfortunately, at the moment. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Kareem. You're on it. What have we got here? Ooh, some names, you guys. You're gonna have to give me. You're gonna have to put the pronunciation of your names in here because I'm gonna butcher them. But we got a good one here. I insist on watching Netflix during the holidays. That's a solid plan. Netflix has some great programming. Garima says, I always insist on cooking. There we go. Awesome. Insist on cooking. Lots of Indian delicacy. And Garima, you might want to say Indian delicacies, right? Because probably you have more than one. So just make sure to use the IES when you're talking. Usually in English, when we talk about things that you like to do, we do many of them and different types. So we often use S when we're explaining things. Okay, awesome. I think we're going to wrap up our question of the day. And let's jump into the Smrt. Let's jump into the Smrt page. So what you guys can do, as I showed you before, you can jump into this section here. So you can go here, and there's also a link down here. So you can also follow this link here. And this will take you to the page that we're going to work on. And we'll take a little look down here at the things we're going to do, verbs and prepositions. So maybe we'll start with this today. Normally we do a little warm-up, but I think this time we're just going to look at the rules first, and then we'll jump into the warm-up and do a little discussion as well, because then you'll be able to practice, and you should have everything correct as well. So let's take a look. Let's see what they say. Objects of prepositions. So when you look at an English sentence, so let's say here. This is the sentence we're going to look at. So it says here, objects of preposition. Usually the words after prepositions are usually nouns. So gerunds are also possible. Okay, so what does that mean? Blah, 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 blah. If you say, okay, so basically, when you see this word, we got for. We have other ones, right? We have about. We have if. We have a lot of prepositions. And let's hit up that list first. Prepositions in English, because this is something you guys should see. So let's take a look at what this website says. Okay, we've got a good list here. Okay. Not the best list I was looking for. Let's see what else we got here. So what I'm trying to get to here is that there's a few things that you need to know. And prepositions, here we go. This one might be good. These are things that we can use after. Now see all these words here? Oh, this is awesome. It tells you how often we use these prepositions. So if you look at this, I'll even throw this link in the chat for you guys. That's not a bad one. So there you go. There's a link that I'm looking at if you want to take a look at it. Prepositions. So these are all the things. Sometimes we use these words after a verb. Okay, so with, talk with, shout at, come from, walk into. Okay, and all of these things we can often use. Not all of them, but a lot of them we can use after a verb, and that's what we're going to look at. So you need to learn, I guess, a little bit that all these words are prepositions. Okay, because this is what we're going to be working on today. All right, there we go. All right, JB's teaching the class. Way to go, JB. You're on it. So here we go. Let's go back here. Now let's look at it. So we have our verb, and you can see our verb here is the be verb. But it could be another verb. It could be anything else. So we have is. This is our verb. What happened to this face? That was weird. Where did you go? Come back here. There we go. All right, let's just keep it that size. So the medal is for the race. So you could say walk, look for, search for. So again, you're using that verb, and then you're using that preposition after. Now you have two options. If you make a sentence here, you could say, the medal is for winning the race. And winning is an ing verb. And after for, you can use an ing verb. We call it a gerund. Okay, and number two, the other one you can use, you could say the medal is for courage. And for example, courage would be a noun, not an ing verb, but a noun. So the being brave or something like that. And you can say the medal is for bravery, or the medal is for being brave. And both of those sentences are very similar, but one kind of focuses on a verb and one focuses on a noun. Okay, so this is exactly what we're going to look at today, when we can use prepositions with certain verbs. So let's go back and jump into our Smrt lesson here. And let's take a look at some of these sentences. So I'm going to get you guys, you know my system. We always take a sentence and we want to make our own sentences about it. Let's see here. Fikri says, what about to? Is that a preposition? Yes, it is a preposition. Unfortunately, English will break the rules sometimes. Sometimes you'll have a to, and you're going to need to use an ing. So for example, the most common one, Fikri, is look forward to. And after that to, we always use an ing verb. Look forward to going, look forward to studying, look forward to visiting. Unfortunately, we also have the other situation when we don't use an ing verb after, like to go, want to buy. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, this is the rule. This is where just getting more experience in English will help you to know, you know what I mean, like which combination, look forward to studying. Okay, so sometimes you have to get a little bit more experience, and then you'll know that I can use an ing verb here, and here I can't. Because we can teach you all the rules, but you'll never remember all the rules. But you might remember it if you just use it all the time. Let's see what else here. Anyone else? What is the meaning of exposure, and where can I use this word? So exposure means, oh wow, that's difficult to explain. Exposure means you have, it's almost like you have an exposure. So a lot of children are exposed to violence on TV when they're young, right? It's like they see it and they kind of get some experience of it. So we sometimes use expose for negative situations, exposed to violence, exposed to racism or something, you know, something negative like that. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Let's go here. We're going to do this, and you know we're going to make some sentences using those two options, ing verb or noun. And then we're going to go through the rules a little bit more, and then it's going to be your turn to make some sentences. So let's see here. Let's start with this one. This is kind of a big one, actually, but that's OK. So let's take a look at number 2. Can everyone please take a look at number 2? And I'd like you guys to write your answer for these. So you can see that there's a combination. We have speak to and count on, and also feeling, which is not exactly what we're going to be studying today, but that's OK. You can still put an answer there. That's fine. So please do number 2. And I would like you guys to write your answer to number 2, finish that sentence, and then post it in the chat so we can kind of look at it and we can discuss it together. So let's see here. Let me start. I'll start off with my answer. So let's start with this one. I always speak to. So let's see. Who do you always speak to? So I always speak to my best friend when I'm feeling down. And if you don't know down, if you say I feel down or I am down, it means sad. It's just another way to say sad. And I can always count on him. All right, so let's talk about a few of those words because we need to know how to use them as well. So speak to, okay? So now of course you know this word speak. We always use it. But the other thing you need to remember is that we always need speak to. So you speak to someone, you talk to someone, you speak to someone, you talk to someone. Okay, so to is one of those prepositions which generally means direction. I don't know if that'll really help you, but we always use speak to or talk to. And you can also use with sometimes, right? There's sometimes another option. When I'm feeling down, I can always count on him. So my sentence here was this one here. Count on him is kind of like trust, right? You count on him. So for example, maybe I have a problem. Maybe I have a really big problem and I need some money. And my friend says, oh yeah, no problem. Here's some money. Don't worry about it. You know, when you're ready, you pay me back. So I can count on him. It's like I can trust him. And we can also say I can count on him. I can depend on him, or I can rely on him. And all of those have a very similar meaning. So there are a lot of different ways to say that as well. So let's see what you guys get up to here. So like I said, please make some sentences that we can discuss together using this fill in the blank kind of format. So let's see. Garima says, I always speak to my brother when I'm feeling bad. I can always count on him. Awesome. Perfect. There we go. Let's see here. What else we got? Nalita says, I always speak to you when I'm feeling worried. I can always count on your advising. Okay, very nice, Nalita. One thing I'm just going to change, count on your advice. And that's good. She used it as well. Just advice rather than count on him. You don't have to count on someone all the time. You can count on advice. All right, next. Let's try number 3. Everyone, please take a look at number 3. I'd like you guys to do this one. Maybe. So if you don't know, apologize to, it's like say you're sorry, right? Yeah, I'm sorry for. And that's another one we use. So you can say, I am sorry for. It's a bit of a different form, but we use it as well. Or you can say, I apologize to someone. Okay, so in this situation, it's maybe my friend, my parent, or something like that. And you can see in this one, the for is after the noun. Okay, it's not. Usually it would be, I apologize for. And you could do that as well, right? I could apologize for being rude. But in this one, we actually have an object in the middle, and we say, I apologize to someone for being a jerk. And if you don't know a jerk is, how can I say this, a rude person. Trying not to swear, but a rude person is a jerk, someone who's impolite, all right? Someone who's not very nice. So here we go. So Yanlong's got an answer here. I apologize to my brother for being a jerk. Garima, I apologize to my roommate for being a jerk. There you go, living with roommates is not easy. And apologize to my cousin. Awesome. Okay, so you guys got it there pretty fast, right? I apologize to, exactly. This one's a little harder. Not really, but a little bit. So please take a look at number 4. Number 4, sometimes I get completely absorbed in. And this is a nice combination as well. Completely is totally. And absorbed in is kind of like focused on. And there's another preposition, focused on, absorbed in. They're kind of similar. Let me write these down as well. So absorbed in, I'll say, my own thoughts, right? That's an answer you could have. So again, you got it, absorbed in my own thoughts. That works. So what about you guys? What do you get absorbed in? So it's kind of like super, super, super focused on, interested in, kind of like this. But absorbed in, it's like you're really focused on something. You're not paying attention over here. You're kind of really clued in on something. So Garima says, sometimes I get completely absorbed in whenever I paint, or maybe whatever I paint, the things that you paint as well. But whenever could be as well, right? Yolana says, sometimes I get completely absorbed in my own problems. Sure, there you go. And you gotta think about it. You gotta talk to some people after as well. But exactly, you get super, super focused on something. Jennifer says, I can get completely absorbed in my work. Yeah, I understand. I mean, sometimes you're kind of in there and you're really focused on it. And Ahmed said, yeah, I get absorbed in my laptop. Yeah, I think a lot of students do that, right? They get absorbed in their cell phones or whatever they're using there. They get absorbed in technology. But absorbed is really focused on and really interested in. All right. Absorbed in my laptop, Ahmed, yeah, it's not bad. I think the difference is, I think we usually say, I get absorbed in, painting. I really get absorbed in my work. So usually these are, they're things that we do. And maybe your laptop is not a thing that you do, right? Like I get really absorbed in class. I get really absorbed in my work. I get really absorbed in my own thoughts. So these are some actions at the same time. They're actions which are happening, and maybe that's why, because laptop's not an action. That might be why. Okay, very nice. Let's go on to another one. Let's do this one. This one's more fun. I always laugh at. So again, you can see this one uses a different preposition. And you can see that prepositions, they all have different functions. Sometimes laugh with, or sometimes laugh at. So that's a good difference there, right? If you say with, it's I laugh with my friends, we have fun together. But if I laugh at someone, it's probably bad, right? Or if I shout at someone, it's got a bad meaning, like you're not having fun together, you're kind of laughing. One person's laughing, the other person's not. So this is an important difference when you might use with or when you might use at. So what do you always laugh at? So I think everybody, I don't know, I work with a bunch of teachers, and what do teachers look at? Always stupid animal videos. So I would say my friends and I always, and I'll give you a new word here instead of always, constantly. No, not constantly. That's not true. We don't constantly do it. It's kind of weird. But my friends and I sometimes, I'll just say sometimes, laugh at stupid animal videos. Or funny animal videos. Not necessarily stupid, but funny animal videos. I don't know. There's some pretty funny ones out there. What do you guys usually laugh at? Give me one of your answers. Oh, there we go. Jennifer, high five. Internet high five. I always laugh at cat videos. I always laugh at my own mistakes, Numer. Awesome. Yep, there you go. We'll laugh it off and get better. JB, I laugh at funny things. I laugh with my friends when watching funny movies. Awesome. Yep, exactly. What else we got? Oh, Waleed, very technical. Water and salts are absorbed into our bloodstream. Sorry for being late. It's okay, buddy. With a sentence like that, you can be a little bit late. No worries. Okay, anyone else laugh at? If you don't have any more, that's cool. We'll jump on and look at one more thing before I think we get into the how to use these things. Which one should we do here? No, we're not going to do this one because you guys are not in Vancouver. So let's skip that one. There we go. You're gonna have to convince your teacher to do something for you. Now, what would be a good idea to convince your teacher to do? Give you a better score, maybe. Give you a pass on a certain test. Yeah, that could be useful. What do you really need to convince your teacher to do? And if you don't know convince, convince is a similar word to persuade. And we would use, and you know what? I think I've realized this is not exactly the kind of sentence I want to work on, because it's actually just a verb after, and we cannot use. So actually, I'm going to delete that. That's a mistake on my end. That's not actually what we're working on today. It's actually just a regular verb after. All right, last one. Number 8. Please take a look at number 8. Nobody ever warned me about. Okay, and if you know warned, warned means like, hey, be careful, right? Somebody warned me. They warned me about the earthquake. They warned me about his bad language. They warned me about his behavior. So can you guys give me a sentence using this one here, number 8. Nobody ever warned me about what? And what would you use? Let's see here. What might I use for this one? Nobody. Do I have an answer? Nobody ever warned me. Oh, here we go. Good. You guys got answers. I don't have to do any. Jalal says, nobody ever warned me about driving at nighttime. Nobody ever warned you about that? I mean, you have to be careful, right? Thought somebody would have told you, like, hey, be careful, don't drive at night. It's kind of difficult. Jennifer says, nobody ever warned me about driving in snow. That's a thing. If you come up here, Jennifer, you will drive in snow at some point, right? If you're driving around in the wintertime. And it's different. You have to kind of be careful, and you have the snow, which is not so bad. But when you have this ice, and it's like black ice, you can't see it. That's the slippery stuff you got to be worried about. What else we got here? About the bombing, okay, potentially, yeah. Nobody ever warned you about that. Good thing to know in advance, right? About the rent in Vancouver, Kareem, I might agree with you on that. The rent is ridiculously crazy here. Ayub says, nobody ever warned me about exam times. And you might want to say, you could say the exam time or exam times, and that would work as well. And let's see, Garima says, nobody ever warned me about roaming late at night. So just add that preposition at. Awesome. Okay. And Walid says, and my father usually does not warn me about bad experiences in life. Maybe he, why do you think that is, Walid? Do you think he wants you to see them all yourself and you experience them and then learn from it? Maybe it's a useful learning tool. Maybe your dad's really smart and he's thinking, just let him go, make mistakes. That's how you learn, right? All right, and last one. I've got one question here. Ahmed says, can I say nobody has ever warned me about? Yes, you can use that as well. You're just changing the grammar, right? Well, right, Ahmed, you're just saying, nobody has ever. You're just changing it from this is a past idea and you're changing it to a present perfect idea. So yeah, no problem. Let's see here. Is it incomplete? Can I say nobody has ever warned me about? Yes, you're right, JB. It is. You would want to say something there. I'm not sure, Ahmed, if you wanted to know the full sentence or if you're just happy just about that question. But if you did ask a question, you would want to say, nobody has ever warned me about blah, blah, blah. Because after about, you're generally going to put some noun or an ing verb. Okay, so I think this is everything I wanted to do, just to get you guys thinking of it. And then after we do this, I'm going to smash you with a bunch of verbs and prepositions that you guys can use every day. So we're going to go. I'm going to look. If you look at the bottom of this list, there's a huge list of verbs and prepositions which you guys can learn and ask questions about today, and try to practice for the next time and just to improve your English overall. So here's the first one. So let's look at this one, and I'll do these ones with you. So we're going to start with this question here. What do subjects and objects have in common? What's the similarity? So if I say, I like beer. Beer is a great thing. If I say I and beer, what do both of those things have in common? And put on your wonderful magical grammar hat and think about words, verbs, adjectives, adverbs. Try to use those words when you explain them. So what do subjects and objects have in common? And I'll start working on this answer here, maybe on this one here. Okay, so, all right, well, let me jump ahead. I'm going to give you, thank you, Jalal. You get 100 respect points, Jalal. Unfortunately, you can't really buy anything. You just get respect for the rest of the class. You are the man. Awesome. They are both nouns. Okay, so sometimes after your verb, you have an object. And before the verb, you have a subject. I like beer. Beer is a noun. I is a noun. Okay? I is a noun. Yeah, anyways, you get what I'm saying. Okay? Awesome. Let's look at this one. Number 2. Where's the subject and object in this sentence? Okay, so this should be easier, right? So this sentence is slightly more complicated than my wonderful sentence. Where's the subject? What's the object? Okay? So where would your subject be? This one would be I. And this one would be my mom. Okay, and you can see that both of those are nouns. So the subject is a noun and an object is a noun as well, right? All right, next one. Pretty straightforward. So the only thing you need to pay attention to is you can see that apologize to, it's like one word. We cannot change to in this situation. So for example, you cannot say I apologized with in this situation. you could say, I apologize to. So unfortunately, you have to remember that apologize and to, it's kind of like one word. So try to remember those two words together, and that will help you to make less mistakes in the future. Now let's look at these two here. Look at the following sentences. Look at the word in bold. What do verbs and prepositions always have? Okay, Why did I use that one? Okay, so if you look here, and actually it's kind of one of the answers that we did already. I shouted at my best friend. What is my best friend? It's a noun, but it's also an object, okay? And then number two, let me change that. And then number two, my parents warned me about alcohol. So you can see, what is this word here? It's also the object, okay? So you basically have my best friend, which is a noun, the object, and you have warned me, which is a noun and the object. So verbs and prepositions always have objects. That's what I want to write. Okay, which are nouns, okay? Pretty straightforward. Next, what are two positions where we can put objects? Let's see here. Why don't I have an example of this? Two positions where we can put the objects. Why did I ask for this one here? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's why. Okay. So look, if you look at these two previous sentences, you got this here. Okay, so let's break this down. I wish my finger would reach over here, but you can see this here. So here we got my best friend, right? That's one position. Number two, we got me. That's the second position. So what are the two positions where you can put objects? So the first position is after the preposition. Okay, so for example, after the preposition, I shouted at my best friend. So there's your first position, right? And number two, you can see is a little bit different. So we have shout at, so verb, preposition, and then object. And then the second sentence, we got my parents warned, verb, object, preposition. So you can see that we actually separated those two, and we put the object in the middle. So we could say the second answer is in between. In between the verb and the preposition. Okay, so those are your two answers. So I'm going to try to make that. All right, so when you do that, those are the two places you can put it. So one is after, shout, verb, preposition, shout at someone, or the second one was warn me about. Okay, so verb, object, preposition. You got those two positions. And last one, okay, phrasal verbs. Okay, Fikri, good question. Phrasal verbs. So what's the difference between an object, sorry, not an object. What's the difference between a verb and a preposition and a phrasal verb? There is a little bit of a difference, right? So some people, I know some books will just say, oh yeah, verb, preposition, or verb and adverb, same thing. They're all phrasal verbs, and that's fine. You know, that's not a bad way to look at it. So it's kind of the same rule. You can imagine, you know, with phrasal verbs, you can say wake up, or you can say wake him up, or wake me up, and that's okay. So sometimes you can separate the verb and the adverb, right? Wake someone up. And then with verbs and prepositions, it's basically the same thing, but we don't say adverb, we say preposition. So look at this one. My parents warned me about. It's kind of the same idea, right? We can separate the verb and the preposition, and we put an object in the middle. So yeah, you could call this all phrasal verbs. I call them verbs and prepositions because I teach, and maybe it's better for me to have a little bit more detail about it. But honestly, the rules are kind of the same. You know, in some not all situations. In most situations, you have to say shout at, and you can never separate it, right? But in some situations, you can separate it. All right, what do you got here, JB? There are two compound verbs, phrasal verbs, and prepositional verbs. Yeah, I mean, if you want to distinguish those two, that's fine. You can do that. You don't have to. But unfortunately, the thing you do have to do is remember what combinations you can separate and which ones you can't. And that's just experience, right? So here we go, last one. And we did this already. I thanked him for time. No, that's weird. Let's fix that up. That's what I wanted to say. So I thanked him for his time. That's number one. And number two, I thanked him for helping me. And what are the two things you can use after a preposition? So thank him, I should have highlighted those, right? So thank him. So for is my preposition. For is my preposition. And you can see that I can say a noun, his time, it's a noun, or I can use an ing verb. I thank him for helping me. Okay? So I think that's everything I wanted to do with you guys for that. So now, here's the big part. I would like you to scroll down. Let's go down, 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 down. You got to go to this monster list that I'm about to smash you with. There we go. Now you can see there's a huge amount here. And some of them are like the ones we did. So for example, probably that's not the verb I was looking for. Adjusted, let's use this one here. I adjusted to living in Australia, or I adjusted to living in Japan because I lived in those countries. So it's the verb and the preposition, and after the preposition I can say I adjusted to living, or I adjusted to Japan. I adjusted to living in Japan, or I adjusted to Japan. Both of those sentences are awesome. And then some of them you have, it's more complicated. You have blame, noun, somebody, for something. So it's verb, noun, preposition, noun. Okay, so some of them are more complicated and you need more words, usually nouns or ing verbs. So this is what I'd like you guys to do. I'd like you to look, scan this whole list. It's a huge list that I just threw at you because it's fun for me and I like to see students struggle. I want you guys to look at it and ask any questions you might have about how to use these verbs, or what do some of these verbs mean, because we have a lot. So take a look at some. I'll try to answer a few questions, but there are a ton here, right? And I guess the best thing you can do with this situation is you can learn combinations. Remember, absorb in, you should say absorb in always together. You cannot separate those two. It must be together. But some of them you can separate. So for example, let's say this one here. Appeal to. Snowboarding appeals to me. I love snowboarding. I love the speed. So I love shooting down a mountain on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon, not last Sunday, but generally. And it's a lot of fun for me, and spending time outside appeals to me as well. So you can see I used appeal as well. Karam says they are always fixed with these verbs. Yeah, I mean sometimes there's, well, look at this one here, Karam. You can sometimes switch them up, right? And sometimes the meaning will be similar. I arrived at school or arrived in school, and the meaning is similar but slightly different, because in we generally use for inside of something, and at we just use for a general location. So and look at this one here. You can also use, sometimes they actually have a two choice. Sometimes you have two choices. Concerned about, I'm concerned about your health, or I'm concerned with your health. And sometimes they'll have a similar meaning. So like I said, it's a lot of information, but learn one or two combinations, right? And learn that you can use some ing verbs on them as well. If you guys are unable to open up this page today, send me a chat after the class, or send me a message, and I'll do my best to share it again. I'm not sure why it's working if you can't see it right now, but it should be all there. Hello, Alex. How are you doing? Okay, so this is everything we're working on today. What can you guys use, and do you have any questions about this? Because what I'm going to get you guys to do is I want you to choose one or two or three of these, and I want you to make your own sentences about your life. So for example, when we went up here, I just made some sentences about myself, right? Finished these sentences with a partner. What could you say? So I used apologize to. What, you guys could use another one. You could say I blah 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 appeals to, or agree with, pray for, prepare for. And some of them will use ing verbs and some of them won't. Some of them will just use nouns. So you kind of have to know a little bit about the verb and how it's used. Let's see here. Garima's got a question. Please, could you tell me why from is used here instead of for? I asked my boss for a raise. He denied it. He denied it from me. Why is from used here instead of for? Garima, which verb are you talking about? Oh, okay. But I asked my boss for a raise. Okay, so why for and not from? Okay, so generally, if you say, for example, and maybe this will answer your question, Garima. I walk to school, okay, every day, and I walk home from school. So sometimes we use, it's not always perfect, but sometimes we use to for kind of like a motion this way, and from would be a motion that way. So for example, I graduated from college. This one, you're talking about I asked my boss for a raise. You can think of for is a preposition we often use for the purpose, the reason. So for example, I went shopping for a Christmas present. I went for a coffee. I asked my boss for a raise. So sometimes for is used for purpose. So I can teach you this stuff a little bit, and I can say, oh yeah, we use with for situations when they're together, usually mutual and not a bad thing, not a bad situation. Sometimes, but you know, sometimes English is going to break the rules. So unfortunately, it's just you have to learn that combination, use these two words together or these three words together, because sometimes there's more, and just try to remember them as one. So always say appeal to, don't say appeal by, don't say appeal with, just say appeal to. And once you remember that, and your English improves, then you can start looking. Maybe there are some other ways to say it, and sometimes we can kind of switch prepositions, but usually no. Usually you just have to learn one way and do it that way. All right, so is a gerund considered as a noun? Fikri asks. Yeah, I mean, we use it as a noun, don't we? Smoking is bad, and it's the beginning of the sentence, so yes, it is like a noun. But if you say, for example, I am concerned about getting fat, it's definitely like a verb, right? It almost, now this is bad English, don't say this. I am concerned to get fat. That's wrong, but it's the same idea, isn't it? I am concerned about getting fat. So in that situation, the ing verb really sounds like a verb, doesn't it? It's an action. But if I use smoking is bad, that's still an action. Yeah, it's a verb and it's a noun. It's kind of mixed together. But when you use a gerund, it focuses more on like an action. Because I could say to smoke is bad, and that's a good sentence. It sounds really formal. We don't speak like that, but you could say it. Or you could say smoking is bad. So you can see it's a verb which is similar to a noun. Okay, but it's still I think it's still a verb, and that would help you to understand it. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to get you guys to make some sentences of your own. So let me just go down here, and I want you guys, I'll write down what exactly I want you to do. Make your own sentences. Using a verb plus preposition combination, okay? From the list below. Okay, so I gave you a list of like too many verb preposition combinations. I would like you guys to make a few sentences about yourself with the last little bit of time we got. And let me see here. Garima, sorry for the above one. Look at this. I asked my boss for a raise, however, he denied it from me. Yes, correct. Why from before me? Why not for? Yeah. Well, we would never say he denied it for me. Why from? I asked my boss for a raise. He denied it from me. Why from? He denied it from me. He took it back from me. It's kind of like, yeah, see, I don't even have a real good explanation for this. You know, sometimes when you use from, you can use like, for example, I took it from someone. Or I asked my boss for a raise, but the boss, what was your sentence? Denied it from me. So it's almost like taking it back. In some situations like this, we might use from. Why? I don't think, don't worry about why, unfortunately. Just worry about remembering it. And I think that will help you. Because once you learn these combinations, some people learn just by, exposure to English, right? And the more you see these combinations and the more you become comfortable with them, the more you'll be like, oh yeah, I should probably use from here, not for. You'll become more comfortable with it. But for now, I would say just remember it. Just remember, think of it as one word. So it's not a verb. It's not a verb and you can choose anything you want. It's a verb and you probably have to use that preposition. So that's the way I would do it. Let's see here. So let's see here. I will try to send that doc. I see some people still asking for it. I'm not sure why. I thought I've copied this. This should be good. Yeah, it looks okay. If it's not working, guys, I'm not sure what happened. But like I said, I will share that document with you after the class if you need it again. I'll make sure that we can get it to you. So what would you guys say if you made some sentences? So make some sentences using anything that we worked on today. Well, I'm glad, Karam. I'm glad you get some useful information. I hope we're giving some useful information here. I'm trying my best. But give us some sentences. So take any word that you learned today. So I don't know. Let's choose one of these here. Vote for. Specialize in. Okay, specialize in. So I do my best to specialize in teaching English. Okay, so I specialize in English or I specialize in teaching English, and both of those sentences are good. Translate something into something. So translate Japanese into English. Search for work. Search for a job. See to a problem. Trust somebody. So trust my friend with my life. Okay, so can you guys please choose, take anything from here, and I want you to throw it into the chat, make some sentences that we can talk about as well. All right, so what would you say? Let's go back up here. Where are my sentences? There we go. Okay, so what can you do with those sentences? There we go. There we go. Karam's already on it. Nice one, Karam. Let's see what he's got. All right, perfect. Got it. So I went to the restaurant which specialized. Okay, and Karam, one little thing here. This is correct. But remember, we're using verbs. And how many verbs do you have in your sentence? You actually have two. So was and specialized are both verbs. And it's not a passive sentence in this situation. So we're just going to delete that was. And then you're good. Okay? Which specialized in seafood. And then that's a perfect sentence. So don't add the extra be verb. In this situation, you don't need it. What else we got here? Anybody? Jennifer says, I disagree with my partner. How often, Jennifer? Does that happen all the time or just sometimes? Wellington says, I've heard about this news. Okay, so again, hear about, nice combination. Hear about the news. Or I heard about work. No, that would be okay. Sometimes you just need a noun. Sometimes you don't really need a verb. You need the noun. William says, I'm searching for a job. Good luck, William. Hope you find the job you're looking for. Jobs can be really awesome. I think if you work with great people, that's a good way to have a good job. Or if you just do something that you really love. I think that's a good job. So that's what I think. Work with good people and do something you love, and you will be happy. Graham says, I love to smile at smiling faces. Okay. Smile at is correct. But I'm just going to change this one. So let's see here. I'm just going to change this one here to, Garima says, I love to smile at smiling faces. So I guess we would put an S on that, Garima, which is the first step. And I love to smile at. Everything else is okay. Yeah. Okay, so when people smile at you, you smile back. Awesome. There we go. I love to smile at. And again, she's got that combination here. Smile at. Boom. Done. Amazing. There we go. I think that's what you're doing, Alex. You're giving me a shout out, but you're also doing an awesome sentence. So Alex says, thanks. Just maybe add the S for teaching English to me. There we go. Awesome. Yeah, thanks for, ing verb, English. Actually, it's not really a verb. It's more, oh yeah, it is a verb. Thanks for teaching English to me. Nice combination, right? So thanks for, ing verb or a noun, and then to me. Perfect. Ahmed. Isn't specialized here an adjective? It can be, right? So for example, Ahmed, if you say I am, okay, then my verb is am. I am specialized in teaching English. And then it is. Specialized is an adjective. But in the sentence that I was using, I think I said I specialize in teaching English. So sometimes you have options. Sometimes you can use it in a verb way with a preposition, and sometimes it's going to be a verb plus an adjective and a preposition. But generally the rule is the same, right? I specialize in teaching English, or I am specialized in teaching English. So both of those are correct. Not all the time, but in this situation it's cool. What else we got here? Wellington says, what is the difference between feel like and feel about? So if you say like, it's similar to. So for example, if I say I feel similar to a turtle today because it's Monday and I haven't had enough coffee, it's kind of like saying I feel like a turtle. So like is similar to. If you say feel about, you might not say that sentence. You would say, You might need another word. You might need an adjective in there, like I feel bad about something. So like is similar to, and about is concerning some topic. Think about this. Talk about that. Right? Something like that. What else we got here? There we go. Itself. Great name, Itself. Thanks for teaching us. There we go. And that works as well. Darwin, you can always join in, buddy. Get in here. Make some sentences. Let's go. There we go. All right. There we go. Ayub's got one. I am always arguing about football with my brother. Perfect, Ayub. I'm always arguing about football. Yeah, and with my brother. So you had two, right? You had about football and then with my brother. Killing it. Awesome. All right. Any others here? So let's see if anyone else has more. Because like I said, I gave you so many today. And now it's just a matter of you guys taking those and starting to write and practice with them. There we go. Darwin says, I am afraid. And there's another example, Darwin. You can see that your verb is actually am, and then afraid is an adjective. But it's the same rule, isn't it? We don't say I afraid, but we can say I am afraid of. Okay, so in some situations in English, we're going to prefer the adjective way, I am afraid of. Or for example, let's say I am specialized in. But in some situations, we're going to prefer the verb way, I specialize in. Sometimes we can have both, but sometimes, unfortunately, we only have I am afraid of. But the rule is the same. You have the of, you can use an ing verb, or you can use a noun. Okay, I think everyone's got that. You got that huge list. So let's do one more thing before the end of today. Can you guys please go here? And maybe we can do this here. So it says here, get into groups of 3 or 4. I don't think you'll be able to do that. But read the following paragraphs. Finish the stories. OK, so let's just do this one. Maybe we have time. I would like you guys to finish the story with, don't worry about 4, maybe just 1. 1 is OK. 1 verb and a preposition combination. Each person can add some information to continue. No. Anyways, what you can do, take a look at this story. And I would like you to finish that. And you guys can use a verb and a preposition combination. OK? So you can see I tried to use as many as possible. I was talking to my friend outside of the cafe. While we were chatting with each other, a tall man with a long black jacket ran up to us. There's another one, ran up to us with a large black bag. He looked at us for a moment, then gave us the bag. What happened next? Finish that story with a verb and a preposition combination. What could you say here? Give us a few possible endings to this story, and let's see what you can use. So maybe, like I said, use any of those words which we studied today from that list. Let's see what else we got here. I'm afraid of watching horror movies. Yes, correct, Itself. You got it right. I am afraid of watching horror movies. Just add the S, right? Because you watch many movies, so make sure to add the S, and that's good. Karam, you're asking for a sentence check. I'm not sure which one. If it's your previous one, a few hours ago, my friend went to the supermarket where violence erupted. Nobody warned him about not going there. If that's the sentence you're talking about, Karam, it's good. Just add a few hours ago. My friend went to the supermarket, and then it's OK. Oh, yeah. Yep, you got it. Awesome. Yeah, good. Yeah, warn him about not going there. So you did a negative about not going, and that's perfect. All right, guys, so here we go. This is our sentence. This is our story, which I would like you to finish. And you can use anything you want, anything that we learned from today. What would you use to finish this? Try to use a verb and a preposition combination. So he looked at us for a moment. Then he gave us the bag. What could I use here? Let me go back to my list over here and see what word I can use. He gave us the bag. There we go. He smiled. Oops. He smiled at us in a peculiar way. So again, I use smile. And you can use another one. You can use that one or another one. He smiled at us in a peculiar way. What else could we use here? He turned to his left and quickly ran down the street. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there we go. What else we got here? What does shout out mean? I'm sorry. No worries, comment. Questions are good. No questions are bad. What does shout out mean? Shout out means, if we say in English, we say let's give a shout out to you, or give a shout out to all the people in the chat. It's kind of like say hello. It's kind of like say hello. So if you ever hear me say let's give a shout out to all the people in the chat, it's like saying, hey, let's say hi to everybody. Shout out. So it's a noun actually, a shout out. JB, shout out. Yeah, exactly. JB, you're on it. JB, just teach my class, buddy. Teach my class. You come here. I'll just chill out and, I don't know, do something else on a Monday. I'm a zombie anyways. What else we got? There we go. We got some sentences for the story. Chris Jim says, where he concealed the money, he was ready to give up to us. Okay, I think I got it here. So where he concealed the money, he was hiding the money, and he was ready to give it up to us. There we go. Okay, let me add that one there. That's a good one. Got that. So here's another alternative ending. We've got to write just like Hollywood. We'll have a few different endings here depending on how things work out. So he was ready to give it up to us. Okay. Little bit different from what we're doing today, Chris, but along the same line, right? Because I think you used a phrasal verb here where I call it a verb plus adverb, give it up to us, but that works as well. They're, like I said, they're very similar in behavior anyways. Okay, so all right, guys, I think we're pretty good, unless anyone else has an alternative ending for our script here. But you can see here, there's a couple more. So if you want, you can give this a try, do a few of these activities later and practice, finishing the story using a couple of different ones, using some of these verb preposition combos. So I think that's everything I wanted to do with you guys today. There's a few questions here which use prepositions as well. But if you, like I said, the biggest thing I think you can take away from today is this monster list of verbs and prepositions. Deter from, deter someone from. So there's a lot of things. Complain about, composed of, music is composed. Oh, that would be an adjective actually. There's a few of them, but I'll have to update this list. Be careful. So I got this list from the internet, and sometimes when you use the internet, you get a few mistakes. So for example, some of them might require the be verb, and so they might be adjectives and not. But there are a bunch on here which are verbs and preposition combinations, like communicate with, compare to, okay? This compared to that. All right, so you can use a lot of these as well. Just be careful. So give it a try. That's everything I think we wanted to do for today. What I can do is, if you guys had trouble accessing the document, I'll try one more time to throw it into the chat. I'll hang around for anything. Judith says, when is the next live class? So the next live class, so let's go check out the Smrt website. I'm sure Smrt will have this. I feel like it's on the YouTube section, so let's go to the YouTube here. Who's that good-looking guy over there? Oh my goodness. All right. Let's see if I can get off here. So Kareem is going to be on December 6th, as you can see here. So that's going to be on Wednesday. Kareem is doing it at Wednesday at 3 o'clock. So mine's at 3:30. His is at 3 o'clock Vancouver time. And you can see that we also have the Thursday one, which I do, which is on at 1:30 on December 7th, which is a Thursday. So you got a few different options that you can check out for the live classes, working with, like I said, with me or Kareem, building up some vocab and some grammar, and we try to add a little variety to the classes as well. So you guys can always check out that stuff. Other than that, I think we're all good. Did I disappear? Am I still here? Can you guys see me? I feel like oh no, we're still there. Good, sweet. All right, so I hope you guys had a good class. You did it on a Monday. You hung in there with me on a Monday. I'm trying to bring some energy for you guys on a Monday. It's hard. All my students are all sleepy today. Gave them a little shake them around, try to wake them up, drink more coffee. I always give that advice. I hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you. You can hang out with Kareem on Wednesday. You can hang out with me again on Thursday in the afternoon. So I hope you guys enjoyed everything. I'm going to hang out, have a quick chat with you. Like I said, if you couldn't get the document or couldn't get the class today, I'm going to share those documents with you and make sure you got it. Okay, so I think that's it for me. Big shout outs to all my people around the world who are staying smart by tuning in with us every week. You guys are awesome. You're all champions in my heart. Big heart for you. I'm going to come visit you someday. Save a sofa for me. That's it for me today. Hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. And as usual, keep it smart. Bye-bye, everybody.